We all dream of soaring through the stars, right? The stunning images NASA shares paint space is this beautiful, majestic frontier. But what if I told you there is a side to space exploration that is far from glamorous? A dark, terrifying side that agencies rarely talk about. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the 10 most chilling truths about the cosmos. Get ready, because space is about to get a whole lot scarier. First, let's talk about the grim reality of death in space. It's a question nobody wants to ask, but mission planners have to. What happens if an astronaut dies on a long journey, say, to Mars? There's no space morgue. The body can't be preserved indefinitely inside the spacecraft due to contamination risks. So, what are the options? One proposal involves a body bag that freezes the corpse solid in the vacuum of space, then vibrates it into a fine dust. Another, even more unsettling idea for a Mars mission suggests using the deceased astronaut's remains as fertilizer for crops on the red planet. It's a macabre form of recycling, born out of the brutal necessities of survival far from home. Even for the astronauts who make it back, the price of space travel is etched into their very bodies. Zero gravity is relentless. Without the constant pull of Earth, muscles atrophy and bones lose density at an alarming rate. Astronauts can lose up to 20% of their muscle mass and 1 to 2% of their bone density for every month in space. It's like accelerated aging. Their spines can elongate, causing intense back pain, and the fluid shifts in their bodies can permanently affect their vision. Some studies even suggest that prolonged exposure to the space environment could lead to issues with fertility. They return to Earth as heroes, but their bodies carry the silent scars of their journey, and the physical challenges start the moment they reach orbit. Imagine the worst motion sickness you've ever had, then multiply it by 1,000. That's space adaptation syndrome. More than half of all astronauts experience intense nausea, disorientation, and vomiting as their brains struggle to make sense of a world with no up or down. And what about basic hygiene? Forget a refreshing shower. Astronauts use rinseless shampoos and wash with towels. And for number 2, during spacewalks, which can last for hours, they have no choice but to rely on what is essentially a high-tech adult diaper. It's a far cry from the sleek, futuristic image we often see. Beyond the physical toll, the psychological pressure is immense. Imagine being trapped in a metal can with the same few people for months or even years. The isolation is profound. You look out the window, and all you see is the cold, black, unforgiving void of space. Earth is just a tiny, distant marble. This experience can trigger what's known as the overview effect, a cognitive shift that can be awe-inspiring for some, but deeply unsettling for others. The constant confinement, the lack of privacy, and the sheer emptiness of it all can lead to severe depression, anxiety, and interpersonal conflicts. You're millions of miles from everyone and everything you've ever known, and help is not just a phone call away. If that wasn't enough, the entire time you're in space, you're being bombarded by invisible enemies. Cosmic radiation. Outside the protective bubble of Earth's magnetic field, astronauts are exposed to high-energy particles that zip through the universe. This radiation slices through their DNA, causing cellular damage that can significantly increase their risk of developing cancer later in life. It can also affect the central nervous system, leading to cognitive issues. On a long-duration mission to Mars, an astronaut could receive a radiation dose equivalent to a lifetime's worth on Earth, or even more. The very fabric of space is trying to tear you apart at a genetic level. Now, let's zoom out from the human body and look at the threats lurking in the wider cosmos. Have you heard of rogue black holes? These are not the supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies. These are smaller, city-sized black holes that were ejected from their home galaxies and now wander silently and invisibly through interstellar space. They don't emit light, so we can't see them coming. If one of these were to pass through our solar system, its immense gravity could wreak havoc, flinging planets out of their orbits or even sending Earth on a collision course with another celestial body. It's a cosmic ghost, a silent predator in the dark. And speaking of cosmic predators, let's talk about gamma-ray bursts. These are the most powerful explosions in the universe since the Big Bang, likely caused by the collapse of massive stars or the collision of neutron stars. A single gamma-ray burst can release more energy in a few seconds than our sun will in its entire 10 billion year lifetime. If one of these were to occur in our galactic neighborhood, and its beam were pointed directly at Earth, it would be catastrophic. The blast would strip away our ozone layer, exposing life on the surface to lethal levels of solar radiation and triggering a mass extinction event. It's a planetary sterilization ray, and it could happen at any moment, without any warning. We don't even have to look that far for a cosmic threat. Our very own sun, the star that gives us life, could also be our undoing. The sun occasionally unleashes massive bursts of energy and plasma known as solar superstorms. In 1859, the Carrington event, a powerful solar storm, fried telegraph systems across the globe. If a storm of that magnitude hit us today, it would be a civilization-level catastrophe. It would overload power grids, causing continent-wide blackouts that could last for months or even years. Our satellites would be destroyed, knocking out GPS, communications, and the internet. We would be thrown back into a pre-industrial age in an instant, all because our star had a particularly bad day. As we peer deeper into space with our powerful telescopes, we're finding that our solar system might actually be one of the tamer neighborhoods. We're discovering exoplanets with conditions straight out of a nightmare. There's a planet called HD 189733b, a beautiful deep blue world where it rains molten glass sideways at over 5,000 miles per hour. There are hot Jupiters so close to their stars that their atmospheres are being boiled away into space. There are super-Earths with crushing surface gravity and thick, toxic atmospheres. These discoveries show us that the universe isn't just empty. It's filled with worlds that are actively, violently hostile to life as we know it. Finally, there's the mystery of the Great Attractor. Something out there, about 220 million light-years away, is pulling our Milky Way galaxy and hundreds of thousands of other galaxies towards it at a staggering 1.4 million miles per hour. The problem is, we can't see exactly what it is. It's located in a region of space called the Zone of Avoidance, which is obscured by the dust and stars of our own galactic plane. It's a massive, mysterious gravitational anomaly, an unknown destination we are all hurtling towards. We don't know what it is, and we have no idea what will happen when we finally get there. It is a humbling and terrifying reminder that we are just small passengers on a cosmic journey whose destination is completely unknown. So, the next time you look up at the beautiful night sky, remember that its beauty hides a multitude of dangers. Space is not just an empty void. It's an active, chaotic, and often violent place. It's a frontier that tests the limits of human endurance, both physically and mentally, and holds cosmic threats that could erase us in an instant. The universe is magnificent, but it is also terrifying. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this journey into the dark side of space fascinating, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our universe. See you next time.